Okay. I know it hasn't been forever, but it feels like forever. And just in case you all have forgotten, we are live streaming this. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Sunday Seconds. If you do not want to be live streamed right now, is the time to turn off your video. But just so y'all know, before I forget, I have missed you. I have missed you. I have missed you. And I am so eternally grateful that y'all are here and that you have decided to spend your Sunday with us. I'm probably going to take an extra special second just to tell you how much I've missed you, because I, if you didn't know, am currently in Oklahoma. And I have to admit, it's been a little odd. It's been like living in a little bubble. We've all been pretending here. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you. We've all been holding on to our fragility, trying very hard to pretend everything is okay, primarily so we can make it work. Fake it to make it, right? And I don't know how things went with your holidays. I don't know how things went with your family, but that's how it's going in mine. And it's kind of working. Um, it's kind of working. But I will say this. I missed my family. 100%. 100%. I didn't miss the crazy. I didn't miss the MAGA. None of that, okay? But I missed my family. And I missed those kids. Some of you didn't see them, but some of you did. And I missed those kids. And you miss seeing them, grow up and whatnot. But anyway, okay. So today, I don't want to take up too much time because we do need to move along. We are going to be going over 5 chapters of Project 2025 Survival Guide. But of course, we are not going to be torturing ourselves. We're not going to be rereading all of those chapters. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be picking out little pieces, maybe reading the headlines of them, okay? And maybe if you happen to see something that pops out at you that you want to reread, raise your hand or just pop it in the chat. And we'll highlight that, and then we're going to talk about action items, what we can do to facilitate doing something about that in our communities. And then we're going to move on to the next chapter. And the reason why we got to kind of pop through these chapters is because I got to get home because the weather's going to change. We've had this lovely weather, but as of right around midnight tonight, it's gonna like dip, just goes swing down into the 30s and then just keep on going down into the 20s. And my poor cats are at home alone, and they only have somebody stopping by like 2 or 3 times a day to check on them. So before they think that I have neglected them utterly and just left them to themselves, I need to get back to them. So good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Seconds. All right. To begin, let's start with chapter 1. The blueprint for authoritarianism. Now, they started by telling us who wrote it and why. And personally, I think we can skip that part and go to the role of the Heritage Foundation. And I was thinking, y'all, Cliff Cash has consistently gone to the Heritage Foundation and protested. And we need to continue his efforts wherever we are, We need to continue to protest the Heritage Foundation in word and deed, right? We need to continue to send them letters. We need to continue to send them emails, but we also need to go to, they have legitimate locations. We don't have to protest, but when there is a protest, we should, as indivisibles, support it and promote it and push it. But does anybody else have any other ideas about this first chapter? Yes, Miss Duffney.
Well, I recently have been in exploring the riff in the Heritage Foundation with Mike Pence. So I know it's not on point, but right now Mike Pence is establishing his own quote foundation, and there are quite a few, I can't find the word, leavers, quite a few people who are exiting Heritage for Mike Pence's foundation. So, we might see that as the beginning of a schism. I don't know, but it's a start. So that's what I got.
That is exactly it. Little things, the little cracks, right? And Mike Pence isn't exactly our ally, but a friend of, what is that saying? Enemy of our enemy is our friend kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So,
I'll
and,
get you, Beth, on the Mike Pence thing. Give me just a second.
and
You had a question. Yeah.
yeah, no worries. And when it comes down to it, I believe Dr. Chris said this the other day. We came so close, y'all, to losing our democracy. It came down to that man. And it is terrifying to think that people are going to look back in our history books and realize that it came back to that man, one man's decision to to stick to his moral character and decide to do the right thing. So yeah, I hear you, and that's a great idea. Um, we don't necessarily have to promote it, but we can. Yeah, I like that. Okay, chapter 2, because chapter 1 was really just about the Heritage Foundation. So chapter 2, the presidential coup by policy, the transition project and its legal engine. And this is where we really get into the nuts and bolts, y'all. This is where we start talking about executive supremacy, when they start talking about the radical restructuring, okay, where they start talking about moving all of just where we start talking about moving everything to executive control, replacing bureaucrats with loyalists, etc. They're ideas. So let's
So
see.
Cecilia, the other day, somebody was asking me how it was so easy for them to just, let the EPA have their rollbacks and, you know, the different things that they're doing. And I was like, I said, well, you have to remember that he's planted people within. So he doesn't have to beg and plead with somebody and say, "Oh, can you please screw up the world for me?" They're already willing to do it with him. So all he has to do is give them the word and they just flip the switch. So
And never forget when he went and back and we have the video of him talking to those oil tycoons. Give me $1 billion and I will let you do what you want. Like he said that. Give me $1 billion and I will roll back the EPA. He said that. And he meant it. I mean, just they don't care what they do to our earth, y'all. They have because they have no care for how they leave it, right? They don't care about their kids. They don't care about their grandkids or what world they leave to the people after us. All they care about is right now. And which is interesting because I wonder, are they having fun? I see pictures of them and I don't know if they're really having any fun. But I digress.
Good morning, Cecilia.
Good morning, Robin. How are you today?
I've been sick since Christmas Eve.
I'm so sorry, honey.
I am trying to recover, and but I really wanted to attend this, becoming to learn this, and I attended Christmas Eve party in Richmond, Illinois, which is the border of almost Wisconsin, okay, Geneva. So this friend that I known for 36 years, but we drifted away for past, maybe I didn't see her for 15 years or so. So I reconnected and it was such a pleasure to me. It was a long drive for me, but I enjoyed it, okay? Anyway, I
Thank
did give the link. There's one girl I really met. She was for education, and she has written a book on dementia. And I said, "Oh my God, nurses, they would love to have you." So I did send her a link, see if she will come on board. So I just wanted to say hello, and this is Cecilia. You guys are doing great job, and this is the
Oh.
community that I found to connect, and hopefully we will win at the end because the truth always prevails. It takes a while um, to win, but like you guys saying, are they having fun? They're all psychopaths. They don't like. I'm very conscious when it comes to environment. I'm always looking like, how can I save the earth? Okay. Even in my own family, they're PhDs, whatever, but they're not educated. Like they don't want to take the time to watch the environment like a package. They don't know because a lot of time it's not written the for recycling. So I don't they are because they are involved. This isn't my to because they are just involved in their own comfort, what like entertaining them, whatever the way they have their routine. They I will use for I'm not gonna use the for like they don't care, but they don't know what the earth is. And earth is everything. That's where we get it, everything of our food, all the
I have
resources.
something. I have something to share with y'all. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you, Robin, but I have something very exciting to share with y'all.
Okay.
My uncle Fred has admitted that China is responsible for global warming.
Yes, I agree with you.
No,
Because
no,
they
no, no.
use,
You don't understand how important this is, Robin.
oh,
Up to this point, my Uncle Fred, who is 100% MAGA, okay,
oh,
100% MAGA, has completely denied the existence of global warming. Up to this Christmas, I have never heard him admit that global warming is even a possibility, okay? He has
mhm.
completely ignored the science.
Wow.
And so this time I was just sitting here drinking my coffee and all of a sudden he says, well, if it weren't for that damn China, we wouldn't be having such a hot Christmas.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man. That doesn't surprise me a bit.
Well,
Okie
All of a
think it's
sudden
great, isn't it?
China's responsible for global warming. What is this, sir? Anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Robin, but what I'm trying to say is that maybe that one little step, that one tiny step towards science, that could be like it's one tiny step for man, but one giant step for mankind. Like for real. Like so
I
I'm just
agree.
saying.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, it's going to take a long time to get into their heads. These MAGA people, I don't know how they operate. I do have some in my neighborhood, and she became, I mean, she been here, my neighbor, for almost 40 years. And I don't, she, last year when the Orange Man won, and I was trying to convince her, hey, I would send her, and she didn't like it, okay? So those people, and she would say, I am a Republican. I am for pro-choice. What is something like that? So anyway, you go ahead, Cecilia, start your book. And I bought a new coffee machine this from Costco, and I'm trying it. And I'm not really happy with it. But I was so excited because they do the milk product, that like you go
Yeah.
to. I'm so excited for it when I set it up, but now the excitement is gone. And I'm telling my husband, it's not even I mean, give me my coffee hot. I have to keep it. I spent
I have
almost.
learned, this is from a true coffeeaholic, okay? I have learned when it comes to coffee, the simpler the better. They never get it right. They never, like, I have had espresso makers, I have had coffee makers, I have had etc. The simpler the better. They never
Yeah.
seem to get it right. But that's just coming from me.
I
Anyway,
agree with you. No, I agree with you. I'm gonna go to my percolator that I have, too Italian I just do it in the stove. But I would just because I see this new gadget. I said, okay, I'm gonna try it. Okay, and it's so expensive, even though $40 was off. Still, it costs, and then you have to put those parts. They're so expensive. But I'll tell you, I mean, it's an Nebraska or whatever it's called. It's made in Canada, France. So I
Robin,
said,
I'd love to talk about this with you, love, but we really need to get going.
yeah, I know. Okay, all right, all right. No
All right.
worry, no worry.
So we're moving on to chapter 3, moving along like gangbusters here, y'all. But we really do like get into the thick of it right here. Because here's where they tear away all of our rights, right? Here's where they take away everything. Here's where they take away women, LGBTQ plus, and minorities. And here's really where this is okay. Again, personal opinion. They're trying to set up a system where white, straight men are at the tippy top and the only ones who are in charge and the only ones who really get the perks, right? The only ones who really get the good stuff from everything. And they are literally redefining what civil rights are and who gets to be fought for. And I mean, this is the fight. This is our fight. This is where we come in, I think. I mean, we're a part of all of it, but I think this is where the organizers are really down in the trenches trying to stop all of it, all of this. So on our action items, this is where you are reminding your constituents and the people in your area to keep your calls up. This is where you are reminding everybody to, even if you're tired, you're cold, you're angry, and all of that stuff. You're reminding them to go to one event a month, even if it's cold or bad weather or whatever. This is where you are getting together for knit-ins. Oh my gosh, Knitting Cult Lady is going to have a knit-in coming up. And I'm going to talk to everybody about that. That's going to be a huge. She's doing it on the mall or around the mall in Washington, D.C. It's going to be a huge thing. And there are a lot of different types of things for us to get involved in to bring and draw attraction and attention to what is still happening. And the most important thing, y'all, don't stop talking about it. never stop talking about it. And that means in your personal conversations, even when you are having a lovely conversation, you don't have to nitpick. You don't have to get angry. You don't have to say anything mean. Just mention it. Just mention it. And I accidentally mentioned it the other day. I didn't even mean it in a mean way. It just slipped out. Whoops. And it's just, you put that little thing in the ear, right? And again, even though I'm supposed to not be talking about it here, I'm supposed to be maintaining the fragility of this space. I accidentally did that thing I did. But I'm me. Did anybody think I was going to not be able to talk about? Sorry. Anyway, okay. So the main things, key areas, and I would like somebody to come up with an idea for action item, if you can. So key areas targeted for redefinition: gender identity and sexual orientation, race and affirmative action, religious exemptions as a default right, voting rights and democratic access. Those are the main ones. And again, the broader implication, redefining who civil rights are for. That's what they're trying to do, y'all.
Yeah, Cecilia, that's Chris.
Yeah.
So there was a Substack article that came out that was, it's part of the Midas Touch stuff. But Michael Cohen, Trump's former lawyer, was the one that was writing the article. And basically it was, and I'll put it in the chat, but it was where he basically was assessing where they were with Project 2025, saying that, there was lots of warnings that this is what they had planned to do. 40% of the of what's outlined in Project 2025 has already been initiated. And then specifically on the chapter, or he kind of laid out a couple of areas. But so under the area of gender, sexuality, race, and DEI and equality, one of the things that he talked about is rolling back any data collection related to those areas. And I thought this quote was interesting. He said, "If you can't measure injustice, you can pretend it doesn't exist."
Exactly.
And so there you have it, right then and there. I mean, it reminds me of the COVID era stuff where Trump said, let's stop testing.
Let's stop
because
testing.
then the COVID numbers will just go away or go down.
It'll magically disappear.
So using that same strategy, that's exactly what they're doing as it relates to diversity, equity, and inclusion. So that kind of struck me. He also lays out a call to action. I put the article in the chat, but
Thank
just
you.
some of the things that he talks about is that we have to stay loud, stay visible, stay politically inconvenient, talk to our friends, organize. So many of the things that we're doing. And then vote like the Constitution depends on it, because at this time it actually does. And I thought that was another noteworthy quote. So anyway, the article's in the chat.
Thank you very much. That's another thing, guys. I have been in a bubble of media. I have been without internet. I don't know how they survive out here. I just don't. I would not be able to survive with this bad of an internet connection. Ambassador, I feel for you. I don't know how you do it. If
Internet connection 90% of the time.
yeah, you have it 90%. Like here, if my internet dropped off as much as it does here, like I would go nuts. I would just go nuts. But anyway, so
That's right.
Cecilia, use your cell phone as a hotspot.
That's what I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. They
Okay.
live in the middle of fracking nowhere.
Nowhere.
So
Okay.
the hotspot doesn't even hot.
Don't work.
Like it's okay, so of course we also know that they are coming after women, right? We expected this. We knew this is going to happen. They want to control women. They have They have no wanting for their women to control themselves. That's for sure. So they want to go after reproductive autonomy, and they even want to go so far as to take away our vote. And although we haven't gotten to that point yet, we haven't read that part yet. Y'all, I think I was talking about this on Coffee and Conversation. I grew up feeling like I was born in the wrong time. Like whenever I was learning about history when I was a kid, I always felt like I was born in the wrong time. Like that I was meant to be some firecracker in women's suffrage, or I was meant to be otherwise. Lo and behold, I had to wait till I was 45 years old to understand that I was meant to be right where I am. Like, this is what I was meant to do. I just didn't realize that we would be involved in yet another form of what we'd already gone through. But anywho, okay. I'm certain I'm not the only person who has felt that way in this group. But I just want y'all to know you are all in the right place. Like, we are all in the right place. We are all meant to be here. We are all fighters. We are all firecrackers. We are all ambassadors of this movement. And I am so grateful that you are all here with me. So, another thing that I remembered while being here is that this is something that's been going on for a lot longer than just Project 2025. And by this, I mean the erasure of identities, the erasure of gender identities and whatnot. I think I've mentioned this before. It's something that my Uncle Fred has been really good at for a long time. It's something that I think they kind of trained them in with talk radio and whatnot over the years, right? Like and they've really gotten good at it, y'all. And the I the pastors are getting even better at it, teaching them how to erase that and then telling them that they are okay. You're okay to do that because God's telling you that it's okay to do that. And I just,
Cecilia, Joe had her hand up and Robin has her hand up.
I can't see that. Thank you
Okay.
very much. Joe, go for it.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, and I think I can tie together, Cecilia, what you and Dr. Chris were talking about. But and by the way, you're the age of my children, and I feel like things were going so well for us. I just overlooked the teaching of how important our autonomy is and how important all these things in chapter 3 are. I especially like the diagram on the opposite page of chapter 3, defining the coup by policy. I feel like that is like a really important thing I need to impart in the lives of and the minds of my teenage grandchildren that their parents are not doing, unfortunately. But to so they're I think children today need to be more aware of how I raise my children, of how these coups can take over their objectives, because Reagan these are all based on Ronald Reagan's principles. Wasn't he in office since 1967 to
No,
1989?
No,
no,
80,
Reagan was 80 to 84, and then 84 to 88.
right.
But
But he
before
was governor of
that,
California. Don't
yes.
forget
Right.
that.
Oh my God, I
Oh,
love,
right. He was governor.
Yeah,
he did
he
damage, a lot of damage.
he did a lot of damage, just like under the radar of Democrats. We took so much for granted.
He has
But
such a charisma that people like us voted for twice, and then he
well, yeah,
at the
Because
end
a
he
of
lot
was
of
a
people,
celebrity.
a lot of people have charisma. So did Jeffrey Dahmer and
Yeah.
Son Sam. They were very
That's true.
charismatic.
we
Yeah.
didn't know about politics. And oh my God, my husband worked 10 years. That's the time when he lost his job and he had to work in Kalamazoo. And it was, oh my God. But anyway, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry I
Yes.
interjected because you don't unmute us, Cecilia.
That's okay. Thank
Go
you.
ahead, Joe.
But chapter 3 talks about eliminating no fault divorce. That's one of their objectives. So women are just losing power by the day. They have prohibited our emergency care. And as the mother of a child who had a very difficult pregnancy and pregnancy term, I could have lost my daughter if she were denied emergency care. Fertility is a problem. They're going to require sex slaves, women as sex slaves. I do believe polygamy is part of their plan, even though they're not saying it out loud to the American public. But they're going to need polygamy if they eliminate the working class,
Yes.
because they have to
And
rebuild their
polygamy
working
is a
class.
part of their plan because it's not specifically denied in the Bible. It's not, and that's why it's part of their plan. Sorry, go on.
Right. And of course,
Joe,
eliminating.
can you clarify where you're reading or getting the information regarding sex slaves? And I just want to know what your reference is. Or
In
was
my
that an
mind. The
inference?
sex slaves was in my mind.
Oh, okay.
You know, and I hear about Jeffrey Epstein and how all that group is tied together and the political power within that group and the money within that group. Right? And
Yeah.
that exists today.
Okay.
It's the
I-
logical, I think what Joe is going for is it's the logical outlier to what will happen, right? Okay, so if you think about how they are going through, if you break down our society the way they want to break down, let's say we break down our society the way they want it to break down and we put women where they want to put them, then the only logical, like, you're going to have women who don't fall into the places that they want to put them. So where do you put those women? And those women are going to need a place to go. And men, what do men do with those women? Men will want to.
Is polygamy part of their family-centered
And
value?
that's why I was kind of pushing back a little bit, because there's what their stated objective is, and they're very strong in terms of how they define families and how they define traditional families. So I guess what I'm saying is how Heritage Foundation has it laid out. It's very much that traditional nuclear family, one father,
Correct.
one mother, and a bevy of kids,
And it will
right?
be that way until they can't have that bevy of kids due to whatever reason. What I'm
But I think their stated objective would be that if they ensure that abortion is banned outright, if they ensure that abortion pills, and even some have suggested even birth control is no longer accessible, then that helps them achieve some of their fertility goals, if you will. But with that being said, it is a patriarchy, and all the stuff that goes goes on behind closed doors, but may not be part of their stated objectives, right, would still exist, like that which we saw with the whole, with Epstein, right? I
Right.
mean, this is the acceptable underbelly, because this is how we view
Also,
women,
but
but it's
Dr.
not
Chris, don't
necessarily part
forget
of
that
the
even if they get
Project
rid of
2025 plan.
abortion and all of that, by getting rid of that, you're also getting rid of women's health care. You're going to lose
Oh,
babies and you're
100%,
going to lose
100%.
women.
Yep,
So
100%.
so even if you get that surplus of women, or you get that surplus of population, you also lose by deaths and infant mortality. So I don't know.
Well,
Also, raising my hand again,
Yeah,
Go ahead.
sorry,
I
go
do
ahead.
want to say what they say and what they do, I mistrust.
You're right.
Two different things. Right.
Yeah, well, and we have to acknowledge that the Project 2025 is their public facing plan. They
Yep.
Yeah.
they actually have some documents that have not been released that for obvious reasons they're even more unpopular, kind of their secret plan, so to speak. So yeah.
For sure. And
I have really enjoyed listening to who's the writer of The Handmaid's Tale? Her talks.
Margaret
Margaret,
Atwood.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
when she's interviewed in her podcasts are amazing. Amazing.
Let me just
Yeah.
say the fact that that woman wrote that book, years before. Prophecy is a thing, y'all. And the fact that she saw it all coming, I mean, years in advance. Come on now. Anyway,
She's so
okay.
relevant to today. Her interviews are so relevant. Yeah.
So
Okay,
relevant.
my
So,
hand's down. Let's move on.
Okay.
I could talk all
Robin?
day about women's rights. I was a member of the National Organization of Women and marching when I was 15. So I have to stop talking about chapter 3.
No worries, my girl. No worries. I 100% appreciate you, Joe. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Robin, did you have something you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, Robin, you can go ahead and unmute.
Well, Gina, you said that you are, you're saying how would I say, this is not the right time for you to be born. You're a firecracker, and I wanted to explain that when I came to this country, I was still very controlled till I got married, okay? So when I got married, that's the time I got the freedom. And my husband gave me all the freedom to whatever I wanted to do, okay? And he's the only one man I ever in my life who has even touched my body, I would say, okay? I mean, you have the hormones when you're young, but they are controlled uh, somehow. And if you're not exposed to a lot of sexual things, you do control the female, okay? I didn't even know how you, I was appalled. I mean, I took I was like pre-med, so I took human physiology class and I was 19, and that's where I figured out how you make a baby, because we were taught if a man touches you, you're pregnant, okay? So, but anyway, I felt really great being in this country that I am free. And now, actually, they cannot put the genie back in the bottle now, okay? I am free. They cannot do any, I mean, women are the one who make the difference in the society. They're the one who bear children. They're the one who keep everything in the order, okay? And in this century, yes, they started working and they bring more money than men, okay? It's same thing in my husband had PhD. Okay, at the end, my money was almost the same, but he had a lot more benefits than I did. I bear children, and I wouldn't have that kind of have to take time off. Okay, and so anyway, I'm just be with. I mean, like Cecilia, you said you're born. I don't know how old you could be my daughter age. My daughter, oldest one, she is brilliant. All my three girls, she's right now in Thailand and sending me pictures of beautiful elephants, and they're enjoying it. But they don't want to be part of this right now, what's going on, because I cannot have any conversation with these intellectual people because they are up in the society. Okay. So I don't know, but I have grandkids, two daughters, and they go to very elite schools. And I don't know how we're gonna make a difference and teach the girls like who are poor, okay, basically. And money is the money. When you have money, you can buy anything, okay? So right now, if a woman has a money like a Dr. Chris, nobody can control you. Cecilia, nobody can control you. Nobody can control me right now because, okay, I am a middle income, woman here. I don't know how much money my husband has. I never get involved. Okay. So no, they're not gonna, no way they can control women anymore. I mean, that's my 2 cents. Okay. They're well educated. They have already above men right now. Okay. If you look all the statistics, how they're the one who are highly educated in every single field. Even finances they're getting. They kept that field away from them. Okay. Even
Yeah,
for me
Robin, I
too.
hear you. I hear you. I think you're right. I think there's no way that they will be able to get all of them. I think the problem is they will be able to control like some of them. And where one person is controlled, we all are not free, right? And that is where, I mean, that's where we come in, where we want all women to be free. And so they're not going to be able to control all of us. For sure. You're
And
absolutely right. They're not going to be able to take all of us back to where we were, but they
no
are going
way.
to be able to take a lot of us.
Good luck. Good luck. Genies are out of the bottle now. No way. But money is the power. Money is the power. You can buy people with the money, okay? So anyway, go ahead, Cecilia. Thank you for giving me time. I
Thank you,
wanted
Robin.
my grandkids here.
Appreciate you. All right, Melissa, Dr. Melissa, you're up.
Hi, I just wanted to comment about Reagan, having lived through those years, and that was the first shock when Reagan was elected, because my sister and I were watching the television. We're like, "This is a joke." It was sort of like it was now with 47 and 45. And but it was like that, and because it was pretty shocking to us that he could get elected, even though he had been the governor and all that. So, but the key thing that I remember probably most during that time period, where he had been president for a few years, and do you remember when he was shot? And at that moment, before he was shot, I was at a meeting with I was working part-time because I was in graduate school as doing assessments, and so I was at one of those IOP type meetings. It was a meeting with the staff there and then maybe one or two people from whatever agency it was where we had assessed somebody. And so 2/3, maybe more of the people there, the technicians were mostly people of color. They were African American and probably Mexican American. And someone came in, opened the door, and said, "Oh, President Reagan has been shot." And then there was just this pause for a moment. Nobody said, "Hope he makes it." "Oh, tell me more about it." No one said, "Gee, that's good." No one said anything about it. And we just continued the meeting. The meeting
Are
just
you
continued.
kidding me?
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I did not mean to interrupt you. Can you please just say that last part one more time about when that happened?
When that happened, first of all, a woman, who was an African American woman, came to the door and said, "Oh, the president has been shot." There was just a slight pause to take in the information, and then the meeting continued. And what I got from that was that those African American and Hispanic women who were there, who were kind of, pushing the meeting on, had no reaction. And that told me volumes because he was shrinking the middle class, he was shrinking the working class, He was not a
He
precedent for
was
them.
he was not for them. He was not their
Right.
president.
Right, exactly. And that was it was very different from when Kennedy was shot. Very different. Very different.
Hey,
Even
hey,
before
Melissa.
Hmm?
This is Chris. I just wanted to respond to that just a little bit because I had a completely different experience. So I was an undergrad at Notre Dame. I was a pre-law major. I was sitting in the law school library because that's where I used to study a lot. And so we saw it play out like, on TV, so President Reagan has been shot. And actually in that environment, and I have to say I wasn't really politically active or aware. Is people were meaning there was just kind of this, oh my God, the president's been shot,
Mhm.
and so it was very different in a way from how it is right now with Trump, where people were not my president. In that sense, it was just that this is the president and he's been shot, and as caring, compassionate human beings, we have to be concerned about that. So it's just interesting, just the difference in where we were kind of in our life cycle, if you will.
Well, that, but also the context. I can't tell you the feeling in that room. The feeling in the room was very, it was like we're just going on. We're just
Yeah.
moving on here.
Yeah.
It wasn't so but it was very different. I wasn't in a college environment. I'm sure when you're I think it's shocking when anyone is shot. I was shocked when 47 before it became 47 was shot. I'm not for that. You know what I mean? I think
Mm-hmm.
it is worth having that. But it wasn't the reaction in that room, and it was the feeling in the room was like a little, it was surprising to me. I wasn't going to go, oh my God, myself, because I was kind of in the room as a student and as a worker there, but they were the full-time workers there. And it was very interesting to feel that what it was to them. It was different because it was 90%, I think. I mean, my supervisor was not a person of color. I was not, and maybe almost everybody else in the room was. Boy, it was going nowhere. It was just meeting goes on. It was very different. But the context, it's the feeling of being with those people.
Yeah.
That's where they were at. Yeah. It's
Thank
amazing.
you, Melissa. Ambassador, what say
So,
you?
hello, this is Beth. I am going to share some call to action items before people start dropping off. So, of course, don't forget the 5calls.org, and that's where they will give you your senator and congresspeople's name and information. And they tell you to encourage them to help to stop things like military escalation in Venezuela, and to extend ACA tax credits, and to end 47 dictator rule, and to stop aggressive ICE raids. So, we need to make the change. And I think that that's what this whole book is getting towards. And also Cards for Democracy. You can print out the cards. Some of them explain fascism, and freedom, and save the ACA subsidies and freedom of speech. And also, we can call Judge Boasberg and thank him for upholding the Constitution. And Robin was talking about the climate. There's also climateactionnow.com, or there's an app. And so, what I wanted to say is that the people who voted for 47 made this change, the shit that we're in now. And so it's up to us to make the future change, where we will make it the next better world.
That's right. And as for that, the next chapter, just scooting right along. Thank you so much, Ambassador Beth. It is the Christian nationalism and policy. And the main reason why this change was made is because they think, and this is important, y'all, they think that the main problem with our Constitution is the liberalism. So they want to take away the liberalism and institute Christian nationalism, which of course is ridiculous because liberalism is the bedrock of our freaking country. It's the reason we exist. Because so that we all can come together and create this country, this beautiful country together. Um, as Boot Money would say, the plywood or the what of this country. And yeah, y'all, it doesn't make any sense to on multiple levels to impose Christianity on people. First of all, it doesn't make any sense from a Christian perspective. And if a Christian ever tries to impose their Christianity on you, please refer them to Matthew. Please refer them to Matthew 28 and ask them what Jesus said to do. Ask them if Jesus told them to impose their religion upon you. He never did. But anyway, I digress. So, here we go. So they want theology to replace the Constitution. And the most important part about that is they're going to start deciding who is the real American and who isn't, right? Who deserves to be a part of this America and who doesn't. And we're already living that, y'all. They are ejecting people left and right. And which is again hilarious because this country was built on immigrants. You can't tell them that though. Nope, you cannot.
Can't believe the stuff they're trying to blame on the trans people. Like,
Do tell.
just, well, number one, the shootings.
Right.
Yeah, and then I heard something yesterday and it was in a huge auditorium. I can't remember exactly what they said, but they said if it wasn't for trans people, this wouldn't be happening. And it was something ridiculous like the groceries or something.
Well, I was watching one of his 47's rallies from his campaigning before he got elected. And I don't remember this, but I guess obviously he was saying this. He's like, you have trans everything now. Everybody's trans.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that means you're trans. If you're saying everybody's trans, that
Yeah.
means you're trans. What are you talking about? What you're saying doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
Anyway, yeah, like they don't make sense. They're blaming 1% of the population, which is hilarious, right? Because our problems are 1% of the population. They're just blaming the wrong 1%. So Chapter 5 is education and indoctrination. I just blew past all of this, but the education and indoctrination is about our kids. And the education and indoctrination portion, even if you don't have kids or grandkids in school, this is if y'all don't have somebody from your indivisible group going to the local school board meetings, get someone from your indivisible group going to the local school board meetings. I know it's not fun. I get it. It's not fun, but just pick a short straw, do the short, somebody, I got the short straw this month. I have to go. Somebody needs to be paying attention and making sure that Moms for Liberty doesn't show up on your doorstep this week. Yes, Robin, how can I help you? Melissa, do you have oh, I'm sorry, Melissa, you're
Melissa.
first. I missed you first.
I just forgot to take my hand out. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Here.
Robin, you are up. Ms. Robin?
Go ahead, unmute.
Oh yeah, okay. I didn't get the unmute count. Yeah, hey Cecilia, you're talking about education indoctrination, chapter
Yes, ma'am.
5. Okay, so that they're trying to. That's only if people go to the state schools, right?
No.
Not the private schools like
Private schools are worse, Robin. Private schools have more opportunity to indoctrinate your kids because
oh,
they have full control. They can do whatever they want.
but not if those private schools are like this
Liberal?
they're like my daughter, my grandkids, one other kid, okay, she going to one very elite school. It is a private, it's very expensive. They teach all cultures there. They don't, and
Yeah, liberal.
yeah, once my daughter or my son-in-law, they will know that they're doing this to the kid. They will pull out, they will make have their own school. And
I
actually the
understand.
school, yeah, they will have, actually the school probably running by their own, some Indian or what, I haven't looked into it. So how they gonna stop that?
That you can't stop that. That's why a lot of people. That's why a lot of parents
Actually,
homeschool
I
or
have
unschool
here
their
in my
kids.
town. Oh, Cecilia, I'm sorry, I'm raising my voice here. I get
It's
really
okay.
excited. In Arlington Heights, the South Indian, okay, they never came to America for, they started coming only, I would say, about 15 years ago because of all the tech, and they were already like how to explain, they were well educated in English and science and brilliant, but they were poor people, but they never would come out like in northern part of India. They're always adventurous, even like north part or west part, okay. So now I seen a school in my town here called it's a strictly South Indian. And back home they have, I forgot the name, Gurkul, okay? They
Hmm.
have their own people. And in back home, you have to be very, very smart to be part of that group and education. So I seen an Arlington Heights opened up on Arlington High Road. I never really looked at it, or because I don't, like I don't. I don't have my kids or grandkids that I have to deal with it. But I'm just saying that, okay, they're
I think your grandkids go to a liberal arts private school, which there are those 100%.
okay. Oh,
And
I
don't
see.
worry about it. I think they'll be fine.
But I'm just saying that how they're gonna control all of this. What is it? Oh my God, it makes me really upset.
I know.
I get my blood pressure goes up, you know, and
Well, Robin, if this upsets you, honey, you should not be coming so often. If I'm
no.
upsetting you,
No, it's not you upsetting. I'm just what's going on in the
okay.
country. Not you. No, not you. But what I'm seeing here and here, place where I'm living. So when these people start coming, actually, when my kid went to school, elementary, they didn't have it, the multicultural. But when these South Indians start coming, the
Hmm.
elementary school, so many of their kids, but they will look number one. Where is the education? They were flocking right here in the apartments. We pay the real estate taxes because and these guys just live and they're still doing, and the buses they put extra buses to, and they actually put Hindi language. I'm a Sikh, okay. I mean, I know the Hindi, but I'm Sikh. We are Punjabis. So when my kid went, we didn't have anything, but now they have that language, Hindi language, so I don't know how they're gonna change because I don't have
But
time to.
Robin, that's just
What?
one school. I mean, there's thousands of schools.
But I don't know. I'm just, this town converted now. 40 years ago, 50, okay, 50 years ago, you could not buy a house here in this subdivision that I have. You had to take them to the court, okay, to get the house if you wanted. But when we came here in 87, that then I was living, and they still have a panic attack if the black man would come in here in the neighborhood, and there was only one black, and you wouldn't believe if he wanted to paint his like a fence like a black color, he had to take it down, but he's still in the neighborhood. Actually, he never left the neighborhood. That's the only one black person I see in this neighborhood. Okay. So anyway, going back, I know there are parents in here. I know in my neighborhood, they do have a problem with this, that why these Asian kids, number one, they're brilliant. They have the brain, the science, the numbers. And their kid, they said, our kids can't keep up with this. So they try to change some stuff. But anyway, I'm just saying that it's a very complicated subject to control
I know, hon.
the human beings.
Oh, I know. They're
So,
trying though. They're gonna try,
they're gonna
and we're
try,
gonna
but
stop them.
they're gonna go to hell. Okay,
Oh,
we're gonna bury them.
we are gonna bury them. That's for sure.
Okay, sounds
I
good.
just want to
All right.
remind everybody that Harvard has capitulated.
I
Our leading
know.
law school has capitulated.
I know.
How are they going to do it? They're doing it.
They're doing it. They're doing it. And multiple other schools fall in line. And the TV freaking CBS and taking over our TV. Yeah. That, I mean, it's and all of these mergers of making it so that only a few people control what we see and what we know. Guys, knowledge is power. And it's very, in this game, it's just going to be very interesting by the end of it all, what we like, the information that we find out after, right?
Yes. And also how they will do it is they will start from childhood.
Yeah.
They'll start with early education, teaching children to not criticize, to be obedient, to accept what they're being taught, what they want taught.
And we talked about that. We talked about how kids believe that what they're being taught in schools and in churches and in synagogues and everything, they believe that knowledge is more true than any other knowledge, right?
Mhm.
They believe that the stuff that they're taught in their school is more true than the stuff that you're taught in your school for whatever reason, or that the stuff that they're taught in their school is more true than, say, what somebody tells them at a gas station somewhere. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's how the religions are though, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is how Robin, this is what we're fighting. We're fighting the indoctrination. This is why they want to get to them when they're very young, because their brains are more malleable, they're more teachable, they're more moldable. And let me tell you, my guy Santiago he corrected me the other day, telling me not to steal from Zolan, and I'm like, because I took some chocolate from Zolan's cabinet, and I said, Zolan is not here right now. I said, if I were to call Zolan and ask him for a piece of chocolate, what would he say? And he goes, he would say yes. I said, okay, I will ask him when he gets back if I can replace this chocolate. And he's like, okay. I said, Santiago, also in the Bible, it says we should give and give freely of our goods to our brothers and sisters in Christ. And he's like, yeah, it does say that, doesn't it? I was like, yeah, it does. So like there are other things in the Bible, and I didn't, like, I wasn't trying to show like that I was stealing from Zolan. He just wasn't there. Anyway, point is, I talked him through it. I did, in fact, go to Zolan and ask him for the piece of chocolate, and Zolan was like, I don't care. And And Santiago was like, oh, okay, everything is fine. Everything's fine. We give freely to our auntie the chocolate that she wants. And anyway, they are,
That's raising her hand again.
yes.
Or did she not put it down?
I don't think she put it down.
Oh, okay. You unmuted me again. Oh, sounds good. Okay, Cecilia. Woman suffrage is going on for thousands of years, okay? If you look at old ancient history of India, what they did to him, woman, uh, these Hindu people, okay? When they get pregnant, they have a they cannot go in the kitchen. They think they contaminate, and then when they are pregnant and they're delivering a baby, they isolate them and they will feed them through the hole. This is a true thing, I'm telling you. But we are the Sikhs. The Sikhism is the latest religion, and I want you guys to understand. This religion is for humanity, equality, women, children, meek. And it started with the very first Emperor Babur, and it ended with the emperor called Aurangzeb. So if sometime I bring this up because I relate to it, how the Sikhism came in on board and how with all these social ills that they had in society, especially in Hindus, where they had four classes, where the Brahmins are on the top, and then there's Kshatriya, there is Shudra, there is I forgot the third. There are four, and they classify you by your trade, and it still is that way. You don't think it's gone. Okay, this guy Modi is exactly right now is the same person who's genociding not my people, my people from Punjab, and he also a Muslim, and they call so-called democracy. But anyway, women's suffrage is long, long way gone. And I know we got the voting rights, and I know there historically, I think I put in the chat like a couple of weeks ago where Sophia, girl who was a great granddaughter of this Maharaja Ranjit Singh, who was his son was captured and he was 5 years old. And British could not rule on India. They ruled for 200 years, but Punjab, he could not rule for 100 years because this emperor, okay? And if you read the history of this emperor, how he was not educated himself. He was not even handsome, but he was very brave, a brave person. Okay, he won so many wars at the very young age. And then he conquered Punjab all the way starting from Afghanistan to all the way. Now the Punjab is very little. But anyway, to make short story, that they brought when he died, 100 then British people took over Punjab. They put his queen in the jail, and then they captured his 5-year-old son and brought him to England and cut his hair, convert him to Christianity, and then the queen, I forgot her name, she became the grandmother, godmother. Okay, so that's how they really change. And I agree with you. If you take the child and convert, that's where. So they said, okay, I'm gonna convert him now, and they did marry him into English people. So this Sophia girl, she never got married, who came to the States to become a doctor here in Chicago, and she couldn't. And she also is a part of woman voting, over there in England. So woman has long way to go, and the society, yes, I agree. They will from childhood convert, and look how much it damaged the British people did all over the world, and India
I know.
too. Oh,
Yeah.
what they did, the partition, if you read it, how many, 8 million people? I wasn't born then. So how many
Robin,
people I got? So anyway,
I have
this is
Dr. Chris. She
okay.
has her
Go.
hand up.
Okay.
Thank you. Dr. Chris.
Yeah, hey, yeah, I wanted to kind of shift a little bit back to the Christian nationalism and specifically what we can do as action items locally. You've heard me mention before that here in Texas, we're kind of it all incubates and starts here. And so
Mhm.
we are well on our way to becoming a Christian nationalist state. So every couple weeks, I get a newsletter from my congressman, Chip Roy, and and it almost goes without saying that the stuff that he brags about that he's accomplished is usually the stuff that I'm most offended at. So he is proposing legislation nationally. I mean, so this is and he's actually started a caucus against Muslims and claiming they're a terrorist group and Sharia law, et cetera, et cetera. So what I do when that happens is I put a couple of them in the chat. So I go onto his social media pages because that's usually where he's bragging about, his latest, greatest thing that he does to kind of rile up his base. And I make a meme. And so you'll see some examples of memes that, Chip Roy, is trying to divide us. And this is what we need for him to be focusing on. This is what Texans really care about, healthcare, et cetera, et cetera. In one of my latest posts with him on the Sharia law and the Muslim, communities that they were trying to say are terrorist organizations, I actually just expressly said I'm more concerned about white Christian nationalism in Texas than I am about Muslim communities.
Yeah.
So those are the kinds of things I think that we can do to push back, as you're starting to see this stuff creep into your own states. And then just because what I'm doing also is redirecting it, like I'm calling them out on this divisiveness because that's just a way to manipulate his base. And then I'm calling attention to what we really want him to pay attention to, like the ACA subsidies or expanding Medicaid, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, and then the other thing that I put in the chat that I just thought was interesting is I was looking for, do you guys remember when Marjorie Taylor Greene said, I'm a Christian nationalist and like unapologetically a Christian nationalist? Josh Hawley said the same thing and Lauren Boebert said the same thing, right? And usually Christian nationalists don't admit that they're Christian nationalists, right?
Yeah.
It's usually under the guise of I'm a Christian and, or maybe they might say I'm a Christian evangelical. But anyway, so I was looking for the source information as to where, like that whole speech. I didn't want to just hear the clip of it. And I sent it to my dad because he was acting like, and my dad is conservative. He was acting like, I know nothing about, Christian nationalism. I never even heard that term until you mentioned it. I know nothing about this, right? And I'm like, well, that's interesting because then, because you pride yourself on being very attuned to what's going on in the news. And this was widely publicized when he said it. So anyway, but what's interesting about the clip that I thought you guys might find interesting is he does have this whole speech about, why he's a Christian nationalist. But in that same speech, he calls out the rich corporations for corporate greed, etc. So there's an opportunity there, right? So meaning, and remember, he's also one of the ones that voted to save the ACA, like was very concerned about the ACA tax credits, right, being cut. So it's these kinds of rifts that we need to find and that we can go after, knowing that he has taken the position that there is corporate greed. And you may remember, he's also one that I think has sponsored some of the bills about taking money, the dark money out of politics and things like that. And so anyway, I put that in the chat so you guys can look at it at your leisure.
Something that I forgot when we were in the women's section, the whole getting rid of no fault divorce. That's huge, y'all. I forgot to mention how big that was. Women being stuck in divorces or in marriages that are full of violence. That's something that we lived with for far too long. And no fault divorce was a godsend when it became legal. We make sure that that is part of your conversations when you make your phone call and you're mention make sure you mention no fault divorce because we need to keep that around. Okay.
Yes, that is a part of DEI, and getting rid
Yeah.
of DEI is not holding people accountable for
Right.
their crimes.
Yeah, sorry, I had a whole thing on my computer, but since I can't use my computer at this location, I'm just not having a day, or I'm having a day. You know how it goes. Anyway. All right then. So, whoops. There we go. So where are we at, y'all? Have we flown through the 5 chapters and gotten some decent calls to action on a few things?
We definitely flew.
I know. That
But
was the
yes,
idea.
that's it's so important to keep doing the phone calls, keep doing the emails, keep what regular mail, snail mail if you have to, the postcards.
Yeah.
Letters to the editor.
Letters to
Yeah.
the
Posts on
editor,
Facebook
right.
pages. Yeah.
Yeah, stalk their Facebook pages, stalk their Instagram.
And show up. Find out when they have office hours in your area. Like,
No
I know.
office hours for Chip Roy.
Right. I mean, the Chip Roy is not going to be there. Like, it's not your representative. They send somebody, but show up anyway and have your list and make sure you go through it because they have to write everything down.
Oh yeah,
It-
yeah. You mean like the office visits? I do that on a pretty regular basis. Yeah,
Right.
They know me
It's
by name. We're friends.
it's highly satisfying to sit there and watch one of their, lackeys
Yeah.
have to sit and write every single thing you say down.
Yeah.
It's just quite satisfying. I have to
Chris,
admit.
what are his office workers like?
The guy that I deal with mostly, his name is Jordan. And he is a young African American kid. I call him a kid.
Mhm.
Which is interesting because lately in some of my later visits, I've actually gotten kind of, Jordan, how can you like this must weigh on your conscience, some of this stuff,
Mhm.
knowing that millions of people are going to be cut off healthcare. Like, but he stays Switzerland, like he knows he's
He
not
does.
supposed to really, get into what his own feelings are, but he's always very respectful. And in fact, when we had a protest at Chip Roy's office, they had locked the doors because, some of the people that were part of the protest were going to come up. But because he knew me, he let me in, and then I brought in like, 3 of my other folks that were with me. So, like I said, we have a professional relationship, and so it works out. But yeah, he does his due diligence. He has his notebook, and I just wish that I would get a little more feedback from Chip Roy because I'll go there and I'll say, I specifically want to know what his plan is on this issue. Like, what does he plan to do when this many thousands of Texans are cut off their ACA? What is the plan? Like, what is he, and I haven't gotten that level of responsiveness back, so.
Didn't I hear the other day that he was against something that the Republicans were doing? Does it have to do with healthcare? Wasn't he?
No, it was people misinterpreted that video clip. So there was a video clip that kind of went viral that Jim McGrath sent me. And so
Yeah,
it
he totally thought he was on our side.
I know. So it's him saying, this is outrageous that, we
Yeah.
don't have a healthcare plan and this is what we're talking about, whatever. But what he's outraged at is he recognizes that this healthcare thing could really be the demise, for the midterms. And he's pissed that the Republicans got themselves into this predicament, that they were played in a way, right? And so, but if you just listen to his sound bites, he's like, and like we should have had a plan, but his plan is those health spending accounts. That's what his plan is. So it's not a legitimate plan because he is the head of that the Freedom Caucus, the fiscally conservative, and their objective is to privatize everything that's, like privatize Social Security, privatize healthcare. They don't want any government run entities.
That's what I
So,
thought. I thought he was
yeah.
on the same page as Wahlberg, who is from Jackson, Michigan, who is the first person who wanted to destroy the Board of Education or the Department of
No,
Education.
Which
he
we
would
didn't
be on
really
that.
get into yet about, because that's like chapter 5, destroying the Department of Education. Did we ever discuss actually the head of the DOE,
McMahon?
WWE herself,
Yeah,
McMahon?
no, we did not.
A1 herself?
Doofus.
Yeah, A1, yeah.
That was the best ever. Best meme ever. A1 education. And I still don't understand how she kept her job after that. In a normal world, she would not have kept her job after that.
Would not have.
Anyway, so what do y'all think about Linda McMahon? Is that her name? Linda?
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, she was put in for the sole objective of dismantling the
Mhm.
agency. So, I mean, I guess she's doing a stellar job at what she was put in place to do. That one of the things in the Substack article, they said that, because of the law, they can't actually abolish the Department of Education, but they've done everything to to dismantle it to the point where it almost doesn't exist. Like they've moved functions to other agencies like Department of Labor, yeah, just different, random
Yeah.
other departments. Yeah.
And you have to realize that dumbasses like her don't really know how you said she's doing stellar job. She's representing as a stellar job, but it's Russell Vogt or somebody who actually knows the system and how to get this done, who's
Really
saying, do
doing it.
this, and
Yeah,
this.
it was kind of a tongue in cheek, meaning,
Yeah.
that she's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But goodness. I know this cast of characters. I hope I'm alive long enough to be able to explain to people, like, I didn't vote for that. Like, I just want to be able to defend history long enough.
Right.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. MAGA got these caricatures in, and it's up to us to get them out. Completely up to us.
Yeah.
Words matter.
Words matter.
Robin's got her hand up again. Robin, did you have something else?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Dr. Chris, since she's so involved with the health, like insurance. Okay, I have a United Healthcare. Finally, I read, they sent me the plan for the next, I never read it. So last night I read it, I compared 25 versus 26. And the reason I actually changed to United, because when I would go in California, I used to have a Blue Cross Blue Shield, Illinois, and I could not. I had a shingles and I needed help there, and they won't take me. I couldn't even go. I just go to urgent care and whatever. Okay. So then I called the broker. I had a broker my friend had. So that's how I changed to United. And I've been happy with them because when I go California, so I can see the doctor, and do whatever. And then also Lifetime Fitness. I love that. So those two perks, that I had. But now I compared the plan last night. Can you believe that how much they raised and how much they have taken away some of the perks? It's unreal. And oh my God, hopefully we don't get sick. We don't end up in the hospitals because we have to, end up paying a lot of money from our pockets. And they all those little perks, they reduced it. And so I don't know, when we sign up these advantage programs and the regular Medicare, I don't know if we could even go back to it. My mom never, she always had a Medicare, and it was good. But I don't know if we really get sick with these advantage program, how we're gonna get screwed up. And my husband, I have a PPO, my husband has HMO, and he is very happy, and he got Blue Cross, Blue Shield. But I like PPO because I don't want I don't want them to dictate me, you just live in this, uh, you know, group, and this is where you're gonna get help. Your medicals. So I don't know if Chris has any, now I cannot because the new sign up is over. I think December 6th is the last where you could sign up, but like next year, what I hear from Tom Hartman, that all these advantage programs are scams that we should not sign. We should only have Medicare. And so I don't know if maybe Dr. Chris could shed some light on this topic, maybe
Yes,
in
Dr.
Yeah,
Chris,
Jan.
do you have
yeah,
any light
yeah.
to
I
share?
do I do a little bit, but have to give this caveat. So, I grew up as a military brat,
All
and so
right.
we had socialized medicine, right? Meaning it was provided by the military, for my family and for me. And so I didn't have to negotiate all this, private health insurance labyrinth like we have here in the United States. And of course, I lived in Germany where, of course, they have universal health care, right? And it's very robust system, from good maternal care to good mental health. We had employees that, had baby leave and kindergelt for, when they had babies. Anyway, so just a very strong social network in Europe, or safety net. But here's what I found out, because I really didn't know this. As I think most of you know, I retired from civil service. And one of the things that I learned is that just recently, like within the last couple of years, one of our benefits people transitioned our one and only healthcare option when we retired to an advantage plan. And that's really pissed me off because now I have to have it. Like if I stick with my workplace plan after retirement, my only option is with Medicare Advantage. And Medicare Advantage, what I have found out is that, it really is a scam. It was the objective of the Republicans was to privatize healthcare, and Medicare Advantage was the transition to get us there. Like, the objective was to get as many people off of Medicare as possible by offering these advantage plans. And here's what many people don't know behind the scenes: the advantage plans are more costly to the taxpayer than, because they're subsidized. Like behind the scenes, they're giving incentives to these companies in order to give you those perks that you're just mentioning, right? Because they want to get you off Medicare. And then, anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much what I know. And my my advocacy is going to be, in fact, I just was at an event last night. It was a birthday party for one of my Bear County Dem friends, but we had several people that were running for Congress that were at the event. And I basically, everywhere I go, I am pushing universal health care. I just think the opportunity, the timing is right. And we just have to make sure we're strategic in our messaging on how we communicate that so we can stem off those claims that it's communism or socialism or all this other scary stuff that they try and frame it at. But I will tell you that I'm on a lot of social media sites where it looks like both red and blue leaning people are more open to and more think it's the right way to go. Meaning this healthcare crisis has really gotten a lot of attention.
Chris, Dr. Chris, this guy named Rick Scott, who is I think he used to be a governor in California one time.
No, Rick Scott are you talking about the guy in Florida who's the senator now who was part
owns
of
a
the
lot of
biggest Medicare
hospitals.
scam? Yeah, like he defrauded. It's so funny because he's testifying about all the fraud, waste, and abuse, and he was one of the people that was had to pay a very significant fine. I think it was within the billions of dollars to reimburse for the fraud, waste, and abuse that was done by his company. So
yeah, and he owns a lot of hospitals there in Florida. I understand.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know. Hopefully we will get a system where everybody's taken care. And my fear is that when I was reviewing the change, I mean, it's like if I end up in the hospital, the co-insurance for first, I don't know how many days, it's like $500 per day for the room, and then it will kick in, I don't know after how many days, and I don't know. It's a very complicated subject.
I'm sorry, but Joan has her hand up.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. It's Joan and I'm in Northern Illinois and Dr. Chris, I'm so sorry that you are stuck with the Advantage plan because everything that you've said is completely true. And to add one more thing to that, Medicare, I retired this year as well. So it's a whole different ball game for me. And everyone was pushing Medicare Advantage. Everyone. They make it sound like the best thing in the world. Oh, no premiums, and you get checks for this, and you get this and that. But when it comes to really using it, there are many things that aren't covered. It is, as you said, it's very expensive. So anybody that has the choice, whether to go Medicare or Medicare Advantage, please don't do Advantage because it's just not what it's cracked up to be. And it's horrible what they are able to do to it. And people are believing, okay, it sounds good. Well, it's like you said, it's just not. So
I think, Joan, what you have to do, and I actually am meeting with a insurance guy to kind of navigate through the different options. Although I will tell you, going into it, he said, you probably the Medicare Advantage plan, because you were with Department of Defense, is going to be your best plan for you, meaning cost wise. And usually they're generally better because they're federal government negotiated plans. But I think the other options are they have like Medigap type programs, like other types of supplemental stuff that you can do if you want to avoid not doing the Medicare Advantage plan. The concern for me is most of my colleagues have done the Medicare Advantage plan, and once you opt out of it, you can't opt in. Like, meaning it's a one and done. Like they'll give me a window of opportunity to say, do you want this? And if I say no, I can't go back. So that's where I'm kind of trying to navigate all that. So
it's difficult. I know that even for the drugs, for anyone who's on any kind of medications, it says that you do not have to sign up for it. You don't have to do it. So I had some medication. I had a month of medication. So I thought I'm going to wait on that. Because I waited, I have a lifetime penalty that I have to pay because I didn't sign up, even though it said you didn't have to. Since I didn't and decided to do it later, I have
Wow.
this, and it's very small. I'm fortunate. It's very small. A friend of mine said that it happened to her mother, and she is paying at least $100 a month for this penalty for the rest of her life because she
No.
waited that long. Yeah, it's so
Wait,
we
what was the
have,
penalty for?
because she did not sign up for the drug plan when she first signed up for Medicare. So she waited for, it must have been a lengthy period of time before she needed the drugs, but because she didn't sign up, she has this lifetime penalty. And it's just, it's awful. I mean, mine is something like 39 cents. So I'm really fortunate because I only waited a month. Hers is over $100
Yeah,
a month.
and when you think about how complex the system is and the process is, and for people to have to navigate that, when we could really just go to a single payer system and get that economy of scale in terms of negotiating with pharmaceutical companies, et cetera, it just doesn't even make sense why we wouldn't move in that direction. And recognizing you can't do it overnight, it would have to be incremental. We'd have to transition groups or, cohorts of people in. You couldn't, shut it down overnight. But anyway, that'll be my fall on the sword issue in terms of issues. So anyway, we got to fix the healthcare thing. I mean, healthcare is a human right. That end of story. So.
It certainly is. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Joan. Thanks, Chris.
Y'all,
Okay. Nora, you are up.
real quick, y'all. This is what I'm dealing with.
Oh, Lord.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Is that a Pepsi can or a
No,
tumbler?
it's a tumbler.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
You just
now, to be fair, it does say on this side, you are a really, really good grandpa, the best, really terrific. Just everyone agrees. You're the best. Believe me.
throw that shit out with the bison.
That's what I'm saying. All right, Nora.
Nora's up. Yeah.
Yeah, regarding Medicare Advantage plans, I beg everybody to educate yourself, and I posted a ton on Discord. Um, this is exactly what the Heritage Foundation wants, is everybody on Medicare Advantage right now, because they want to privatize everything. And I found out the hard way, and man, did I find out the hard way, because if you're chronically ill, and I was with United Healthcare, which is the worst Advantage plan you can be on. They will deny everything, even if it's serious medical treatment that you need. And they now have used AI to deny claims. They won't even consider an appeal. I mean, this is part of the plan to get everybody on Advantage plans. Now, you can't switch over to traditional Medicare blindly. You have to work hard to understand it. And don't go to a broker, call Medicare. I talked to somebody for 2.5 hours about what I needed and how to set it up. And there are so many loopholes that nobody's aware of. And you talk about, drug coverage, yes. One of the main things is after you turn 65, you can sign up for Medigap, which you want, because Medicare pays 80%, so you're stuck with 20%. So you need that Medigap policy to pick up the rest. But it's so complicated. And that's why I keep posting and posting and posting about this, because I think a lot of people are on Advantage plans and they're happy with them because they're not really sick. So they don't understand what can happen to you. But like, I need in-home IV infusions badly. I need a lot of medical procedures. I mean, we're talking about serious medical problems that I have that I no longer have treatment for that started in this year. So even if you're healthy right now and you think Medicare Advantage is great, you get a free gym membership or something, please do your research. I'm begging you. And another thing is, nobody seems to realize this, but if you're not happy with your plan, you can switch. You've got a couple months in 2026 to switch. And Medicare will tell you this is true and they'll explain how to do it. But I don't think nobody has ever said that's true, Nora. So that's why I keep doing more and more and more research. And there's also, I believe it's Mary Ann who has been digging into this too. It's a difficult topic to go over because it's so complicated, but I want everybody to be aware that, just talking to a broker isn't necessarily the only thing you should do. I mean, it's a good start. It is because they'll look up and say, maybe you say, oh, I want free rides to my doctor. That's a main concern of mine. So they'll be searching for a plan that offers that. But when you're looking at a medication that costs $1,000 and your Advantage plan won't pay for it, I think I'd rather pay for a gym membership. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's, I just want everybody to really be aware of this. Think about it, research, and you know,
And
God bless.
understand that anybody can get sick at any time, and we all want good health, but that's why we have insurance, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, and I'm online with Dr. Chris. I want Medicare for all, or
Mm-hmm.
medical care for all.
Oh,
But
would that be
we're
great?
talking about down the road. It's going to be a long time if we can get it. We have to fight for it. It's important, but we need to take care of our health today. And
Yeah.
so we have to make these decisions now. So I hope everybody just gives this more thought. And
Thank you.
yeah. Oh, there's my 2 cents.
I
I'm just
appreciate you,
so
Nora.
I'm just so passionate about this because it's not out there. People aren't talking about it. They don't understand.
Yeah, and I appreciate all the stuff that you put in Discord. I do read. I don't get to read all of it because I read a lot, but I read a lot of what you post, and I appreciate it very much because it has helped me in what
Thank
I have. Because I also am chronically ill and have to deal with Medicaid and Medicare, so I get it. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. That's my rant.
Thank you, Sabrina. Good
Hey
morning.
everybody. Great conversation this morning. I wanted to say that yes, I am with 100% with Chris. Universal healthcare has to be the thing. And the reason is there's a lot going on right now that's healthcare is going to become very important. And a couple of those things are one, we have a terrible president, so I can't even imagine what it might look like as far as if we had another COVID situation. We saw how well that went the first time. But also,
Oops.
people are losing their jobs right now. A lot of people are losing their jobs, and a lot more people are going to lose their jobs. And that means a lot of people with no health care because we know it's employer tied health care for most people in this country. And then we also have everything going on with Obamacare and even the cuts to Medicaid and everything else. I mean, healthcare has to be the thing, or we're literally going to just see people dying around us. I remember during COVID hearing about people who didn't buy insulin and died because they didn't
Yeah.
have enough money. And what do you think is going to happen when there's no healthcare? I mean, sure, they'll show up to the emergency rooms, but then they'll get overrun and then we're going to have issues because there's not even going to be hospitals around because they're cutting those in rural areas. I mean, healthcare really needs to be the number one issue this year. I understand about immigrants and everything else, and we still need to fight on all of that. But the greatest
Hmm.
number of people are going to suffer the most if we don't get that universal healthcare going. And I want to say this to all the pragmatists out there. I hear you. It will take time. It will have to go in waves. The insurance companies are going to fight us tooth and nail till the end. They're going to be the problem. That being said, please remember people need hope. And sometimes the pragmatic people sound like they're attacking the progressive people and their ideas. And I want to say there's other ways to go about sharing your information. For example, the way Chris just did. It is vital. We need to do it. Yes, it will take time. That's why we need to start now. Instead of, well, we do it here and it doesn't work. And I'm sorry, that's the last thing you need to tell a progressive who's pushing for something we all deserve. Not need, deserve. We deserve it. All right, that's my rant.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Oh, right. Miss Robin. What's up?
No, I gotta unmute her. Okay. Go ahead, Robin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree that universal health, universal healthcare, we should all have it. Okay, I thank you, Nora, explaining. I never paid any attention because to the, I'm just happy that I can go to Lifetime, the really nice gym. I go there, I feel like I'm a resort, and then I can use the insurance and California from out of state. Those are the only two factors. I never really looked at it till last night when my eyes opened up. Really, oh my God! If I ever get sick, it could be. And you're right; they will be denying. Thank God I don't have any. I do have a chronic pain that I live. Even now, I'm sitting here. I'm heating my neck. I put so many ointments. I deal with it, just taking care of my own, taking Advil or take plenty of rest and go to take steam bath. But I do have a chronic pain that I live with it. And especially in the weather right now, like we have with the cold weather, it gets really worse. And I don't have the luxury to really go to another warm place. I mean, I thought California would be the place. I do have a home where I bought it for my sister and my mom, but that's cold there too. And now my mom is gone. I can't even go there. But anyway, it's how do you educate for these? That's a lot of energy I have to spend and figure out, oh, which one is it? I think the best thing is just go back to the regular Medicare. So you said I could switch in the first 2 months of the year 26. So I'm gonna do that. Honestly, I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna do that. I don't have the energy to research all these different advantage programs. They are scams, looks like. And this United Healthcare, I mean, I think is the number one scam. And they are, they are, what is ARP? They offer a lot of senior courses where they do for your driving license and all that. But I think I should seriously drop this United Health. Oh my God, I
Okay.
should. Okay, so, but maybe on somebody like Dr. Chris is already a lot on not doing the research. Maybe we could have a Zoom meeting on this topic
Actually,
alone.
we already were. There's a lovely woman named Ms. Human. Her last name's Human, and she does this for a living. She's a part of Medicare, and so she had to go through her training though, because they had new things, new updates and whatnot that she had to learn. And then we were going to do a Zoom in after the new year. So we are going to do just that for you, Robin.
Good, thank you.
Robin.
Good to hear that, Cecilia.
You're welcome. All right. Real quickly, I went to the resistance lab that Pramila Jayapal Representative Jayapal through not too long back. And if you have never been to one of her resistance labs, I highly recommend it, y'all. They are they're fun. Even if you don't like breakout rooms, they're fun. Anyway, she offers tactics like creative disruption, creative petition delivery, strikes, storytelling, distributed action, mass street action, and civic disobedience. Basically stuff that we're already doing, but she offers like definitions. And she has the HOPE method, harnessing our power to end political violence. And it's incredibly helpful. And the reason why I'm not sharing these resources is because I have the ability to do so. You can go to her website, which I wrote down and not here. I wrote it down somewhere else. Hold on. You can go to endpoliticalviolence.org to get the reveal, redeem, reframe, redirect, and resist, her 5 R's. But she offers the Resistance Lab Toolkit, which she gives you to ways to get involved with your local immigrant rights organization, ways to safely document ICE activity, build support for the Dignity for Detained Immigrants Act. And then there is a draft email to members of Congress and a letter to the editor to local paper. So that is something to help. And then an ability to host Know Your Rights training in your community, and then additional resources. Yeah, Joe, what's up?
And Cecilia, I dropped the link to the January one in the chat. So the next session is on the 25th of January.
Thank you.
And so you guys can sign up there if you're interested.
Thank you very much. Joe.
Say, I wanted to mention to Robin, Dr. Ed Weir. He's a former social security manager. He puts things in plain language, explains things. You can pause it, fast forward it. His link is in the chat. He also talks about Medicare and Medicaid and the difference, puts it in really plain language that you can understand. Dr. Ed Weir.
Thank you. Much
You're welcome.
appreciated.
And Robin, this is Chris. So I would say making this decision is a very, very serious and important decision. I would not make any changes to what you're doing without some careful research. I know you're not really wanting to do a lot of research, but I think you need to at least maybe follow up with what Nora recommended and call the Medicare folks and have them talk you through what your options are.
Thank you, Dr. Chris.
Joe, is your hand up again?
Yeah,
Let me
I also
make
wanted
sure
to say
I know what I'm saying
AARP
before. There we
sells
go.
insurance.
Yeah, go ahead.
So they're not necessarily an organization for you. They're a club you have to buy into to actually get their insurance, like Costco. So beware of that. They have salespeople to sell you their insurance.
Thanks.
Thanks, Joe. Well, Cecilia, it's whatever time it is there.
It's 11 o'clock, and that is our usual stoppage time. And also, okay, guys, the resources link I will send out with the packet that we send with you when we send out the recap. You'll get that in the links library at the end.
Okay.
Goodness.
Hey, Cecilia, I just have one little caveat just because I saw Nelson posted something in the chat and I saw that somebody responded back. So this was the claim that universal health care is more expensive per patient than than what we're doing now. And if you have any data that can support that claim, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, let me just jump in on that. But you know what?
Okay.
There's a limited amount of what I can say because this is being live streamed. But
Right.
yeah, look, we have tried doing universal, at least for the state of California, right? Universal health care would be predicated on a system of which the state seeks federal waiver reimbursements, right? So what I'm saying specifically, Dr. Chris, and to everyone in this room, is that, for example, if single payer were to be implemented here for our 40 million residents, it roughly would exceed $400 billion a year, right?
Mhm.
And our annual state budget is only about 290 to like 330 billion a year. So
Yes,
it would
I have a
exceed
I have a question for you. So just because I want to make sure that we're talking, because there's no question that it's costly to do this. But I want to know if these are apples to apples comparison. For example, you also have a state that probably millions of people are not insured, correct? So if you're comparing,
Actually, the people that are mostly uninsured are undocumented people that are scared to go and get the benefits at this time. This is a very complex situation here. It's on a very county by county basis,
Mhm.
where very wealthy counties that can do high per capita spending, like San Francisco County, San Diego County, Los Angeles County, they are able to have very robust and thorough public hospital systems, right? And so what happens is if you're on Medicaid and you do develop a chronic situation and you do, are in some deep incident of which your current county public hospitals cannot provide services or the scope of care that you need, then you do have to apply for an intra-county acceptance of services, right? And then usually, like my friend's son had leukemia, right, and needed tens of millions of dollars of care.
Mhm.
Right. She had to depend on San Francisco County, but they lived about 3 counties over. So they did have to apply for an intra, county, transfer of services. And what happens is at that stage, unfortunately, you do have to kind of you have to rely on religious and nonprofit services to provide you housing for the services, for the medical services that you need, and also the transportation.
Mhm.
Okay, but I'm going to go back to this talk about what I'm really putting in the chat. And what I'm really saying is that states, last cycle, right? Michigan, Florida, California, they, consistently, organized labor has been trying to promote universal healthcare bills, right? But typically, it's more for staging the ultimate federal transfer of the system, right? And that reform. What I'm saying is that this truly is a federal matter that it starts with the work at the midterms, right? To swing a whole bunch of seats and then ultimately, the work in 2027 for the 28 win, right? I will tell you that there is some truth to the economy of scale argument, right? That you can renegotiate with providers and insurance companies to scale the cost way down. But I will promise you that while this is an improvement on your personal cost obligation, that the way that these systems do still work is that it would probably advance more denial of care, right? Because the thing is, they're not going to shoulder. They really are not going to shoulder these costs. Okay, I'm just being realistic with you guys because I spend a lot of time with you guys. If I didn't, I would not give a shit to share this with you. But sometimes the level of rhetoric that is being shared in this room, it needs to be corrected. Okay. So I will leave it at that. This is the last Sunday of the year. I'm going to go on a run and I have to do my Sunday activities.
Thank you, Nelson.
Did you have
Okay.
something else?
Can I ask? I'm still unmuted. Can I ask Cecilia a question to Nelson if he's still there?
Oh, no, I think oh, no, he's here. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, he said that you might need to come to California and get in a Medicaid, medical if you are being denied this much. Question is, how does that work? If you're living in Illinois and you have the insurance, I'm just asking a question,
Okay, I will explain that. It works very fast. Okay, if you are truly indigent and you just show up in California, even as a non-resident, you typically will actually receive a 90-day retroactive benefit of
I'm not
care.
indigent. I'm not Native American.
Oh,
No,
no, that's
indigent
not.
meaning poor, not indigent, not indigenous meaning Native American.
Oh, okay, sorry. I see.
Okay, so no, most counties in California, like let's say you're a completely, you have zero, right? You qualify if you earn less than $1,300 a month,
Oh,
and if
I
you have
see.
less than $2,000 or $3,000 in the bank in cash,
Got
right?
it.
So the thing is that yeah, I can talk about this stuff if it's being live streamed because
Right,
I'm not,
right.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what? You know what?
I
How
mean, for
about
like
that?
30 people
How
that are
about
going to
we
watch
just
it, I don't
stop
need a
this?
permanent record of this
No,
for
no, 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 no,
anyone
no,
to
no, no,
like
no. We
reference.
can stop. We should stop. We were supposed to stop the call at 11 o'clock anyway. We could stop the live stream of the call and say goodbye, everybody. Have a lovely day. Thank you so much for the tasty, tasty stew. Who is responsible for the live stream? I don't know who is the host right now.
Beth, are you the host?
Hold on.
I saw something go through that said Cecilia was the host
Oh, that's not good.
a while back.
I thought so too,
Yeah,
but
so just stop the video because I'm clicking on you and you have the option to stop the video.
Yeah, I know, but I'm on my phone. How do I do that on my phone?
I just did it, I think, but just confirm because I don't know why. Maybe because I'm a co-host. I
Okay,
went in
cool.
under your three dots and I just said stop the video and now that's turned off and then it gives me the option to start the video if I want to. So I think it's off.
No, I think you turned off my video.
Oh, is
hold
that
on.
what I did? Oh, okay, okay. Really?
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, sorry about that.
I don't mind.
Okay, well, one way or the
Uh,
other, you should have the option maybe under host tools.
okay, I see record. Oh no, those are reactions. More. I apologize, y'all. Stop live stream.